Blog Talk Radio. You are tuned in to another episode of Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. I'm so excited to be here this evening. I know y'all probably be like, she be excited every time the show begins, and I really am. Like, I anticipate Tuesdays and Thursdays because I get to spend time with you guys. Not enough time, but time, nevertheless. I do want to say, if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen the post in regards to the new show that's going to be dropping this fall. Can't tell you the title of the show, really can't tell you what's going on with the show. We haven't secured the date yet. I'm pushing towards the Saturday show. Looks like we're not going to bring back He Said, She Said, so I'm pushing for Saturday for this show. But our guest co-host that was on the show on Tuesday and myself will actually be hosting this much-needed show. I'm going to say that, much-needed. And you guys know me, it could be anywhere from, talking about having to drop your kids off to school to, hot, steamy sex scenes, because y'all know how my mind thinks. So I'm not going to drop, any information on the premise, the basis behind the show just yet. But stay tuned because the show will be dropping the beginning of November. All right? Super excited to be working with Miss Susie Newton. Very, very excited. A quick recap of Tuesday, if you did tune in or if you didn't get the opportunity to tune in. On Tuesday, we had Miss Ava Laura Gaither out of the Washington, D.C. area. She is a global healer. She's a life coach, an international life coach. She's aromatherapist. She teaches yoga and meditation, and the list goes on and on and on. She has a lot of accolades behind her name. So if you're in the D.C. area, make sure you're looking up Ava Laura Gaither. You can actually reach out to her on all social media platforms at Healer Ava Laura. There we go. And that's across IG, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, Healer, Avalaura. All right? So we've been talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine. I told you guys this story will never end. I mean, we started it last year, and it seems to be ongoing. So if you haven't been following the news, let me just quickly tell you that he has decided, despite being the government's star witness in the trial that began last week, it's been reported that he has rejected WGCI. After ratting on, Cardi B and Jim Jones and dropping some more names, he's decided that, he's going to go back to his flourishing, or at one time flourishing, rap career. He states that, as for safety, he's going to have 24/7 security. He knows that it's going to be expensive, and he knows that he will likely have to protect his family as well. But music is his passion, and so he is not going to go into WGCI. He's going to be out there making music. All right? So he can be released. Somebody who was looking at, how much time was he looking at? He was looking at a lot of time, like 50 years, right? Either way, because of his testimony, he may possibly be looking at being released in the very early part of 2020, talking January, because of his testimony. So I'll keep you posted on that, all right? In less than 12 hours, the baby highly anticipated album, Kurt, will be available on all streaming platforms. I'm not a fan, really. There's a few songs that I like, but I'm not really a fan of his. But he's a Charlotte native. He's teased, his listening audience with a track entitled Intro. And he also just dropped how much it would be to get him on a feature. I don't know if you're rolling like this, but I'm not. I'm not rolling like this. So if you want the baby on a track, 6 figures. Okay? 6 figures to get him featured on your track. Best of luck to you all. Kendrick Lamar has made history once again. It's been over 7 years since he dropped his last album entitled Good Kid, Mad City. The highly anticipated debut featured Drake, Dr. Dre, of course, the TDE family, and many, many more. Singles like Swimming Pools, Poetic Justice, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Yeah, all of those were on that studio album. Well, it looks like he has knocked out Eminem, the Eminem Show, for the longest running hip hop album in Billboard history. Now, in 2002, Detroit rapper Eminem, his album Diamond certified in 2002, selling 10 million units. And now Kendrick has surpassed him with, again, being the longest running hip-hop album in Billboard history. So congratulations to Kendrick on that huge, huge accomplishment. That and becoming a daddy this year, earlier this year. So congratulations on both of those accomplishments. My guest this evening is the electrifying R&B recording artist, Troy Quin'Ton. He was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, along with 2 older siblings, and they were reared by their mother. During his childhood years, Troy would sing songs by recording artists like Jackson 5, Blue, Magic, and The Stylistics, just to name a few. However, unlike most singers, a career in the industry wasn't always a dream for Troy. It wasn't until his college days that he decided being a recording artist was what he wanted to do with his life. The audience applause from his first appearance, a talent show at Chicago State University, was the beginning for Mr. Quin'Ton. Troy realized he had a good singing voice as a child. As he grew older and went on to college, Troy majored in music under the tutelage of Donald Doig, his voice instructor. While studying, Troy began singing jazz, folk, classical, and spiritual music. During his vocal training, he learned to sing in French, Italian, and German. Like, I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown right now. I read that earlier and was like, whoa. Yeah, maybe he'll give us a little sample, maybe. Not one to do the job halfway, Troy also studied just about every other aspect of music, including piano, guitar, music theory, and conducting. As a songwriter and musician, Troy wrote his first single, There Was a Time. This single caught the attention of WGCI's Radioscope showcase and Billboard magazine's song contest and was awarded a certificate of achievement of the top 10% in the pop category. Troy Quin'Ton showcases electrifying renditions of all R&B classics from his 3 decades as a solo artist. It is a collection of music that artfully explores a modern urban vitality without neglecting the classic R&B sensibilities that had made Troy a premier voice in popular music. Troy's reach to spread love through music has stretched throughout the Midwest during his career.
Just say, come on, let's be alone, babe. Just say, you wanna spend some time with me. Just say, anywhere we are, it's all about love. And anything we wanna be. Just say, you feel the fire burning now. Just say, the sun only shines on your face. Just say, this love can last forever. I want to show you how much I wanna know. There is a dream that I'm dreaming inside my head, and I know just right where we're going. Come on, let's take this ride. Just come inside and make this dream reality. Let's go get away. Let's both just get away.
Ladies and gentlemen, listening audience, I present to you this evening my guest, the electrifying R&B recording artist, Mr. Troy Quin'Ton.
How you doing?
Good evening. How
Hello.
are you?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I am well. So we just played a little bit of Sweet Vacation, which is off of the forthcoming album, Coming Home. And I want to talk about this album because I was reading, I like to stalk my guests and know a lot about them, get on the show. So I know that your album drops next month, but I also know that this is your first album in 12 years.
Correct.
What's been going on in the past 12 years? What have you been doing?
I'm also, gotta eat. I work sometimes too, on other things, but I still been, performing. I just haven't done an album in quite a while. So, and I said now it's time. So, the other, like I said, I've just been working. I'm also, a businessman. So, and everything that I do pretty much is on, my own. It's my own label production company and everything else. So.
All right, and I saw that as well. I was going through, I guess, the upcoming show that you have. I saw all of the credits, everyone that is involved. This seems like it's a huge production. A lot of people involved, but I saw that you were the executive producer. I saw that you were the musical producer. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself and talk about the show, but Sweet Vacation we just played. And I was reading also that this album has been described as an emotional roller coaster. Why is that?
Well, because it's about love. It's about emotional roller coaster. Come on, you've been in love before, or I don't know if you are now, but it just takes you through, trials and tribulations through life, especially on one of the other songs that I talk of, that you have there, and that song, it's some happy songs there, it's some sad songs, there's a combination of all. When you're happy in love, you're happy, you're walking around with your head held high, and everybody would probably tell you that, the guy you're with is no good, but you ain't listening.
Right. Right.
And then when it finally does happen, you're like, man, I should have listened. So now you're on the emotional roller coaster.
Yes. So because you've had so much time, and I understand it's not like you let music down and then you picked it back up. You've been working, continuously, but at your own pace with this album. Talk about the process for getting this album ready to be released next month.
The process is, how could I explain it? Long. Because we're talking about it should be 7 tracks on that album, and getting every musician and every piece of it and every flute, guitar, and everybody together, is a hard thing to do. And on some parts of it, we have to. Like, for example, my music director, he lives in Oregon, so we, instead of flying him out, he can do a lot of things, we can, via internet these days, we can do a lot of things and collaborate that way and transfer tracks, things like that, and have him add his parts, send it back to me, add my, So it's just a long process, but trying to hurry up and get it done, and we're just about done, so.
And I know you mentioned those other important people that play, a very vital role in all of this process. But again, as I was, stalking you, I see that unlike a lot of R&B artists, you got a full band.
Yeah. I'll talk, like I said, you keyboard, drums,
guitars, background singers,
saxophone,
percussion,
background vocals.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, like, say, for example, and see, these guys, we've been together for years. I mean, like, say, for example, like Kim Cook, who's one of my background vocalists. We've been singing together since college. So
wow.
you're talking, 25 years or so. And same with Dave Zielinski, the saxophone player. We've been knowing each other about the same amount of time. And these are very talented, well-established musicians themselves within their own right. For example, like Mike Manson plays with George Duke, Al Jarreau,
wow.
Aretha Franklin, my keyboard player. They're well-established. Curtis, the Dr. Robinson, the guitarist. They're not nobody.
So have you always had a live band?
Yes. When I even started out, one thing I never did when I would do shows, as a matter of fact, like when you're starting up a band and you're trying to get gigs and you're going around and you're doing like lounge acts or bar acts, I never really did that. Because I went and saw a lot of people. Don't get me wrong that I knew friends, but that just wasn't my cup of tea. I like to do a show. I like to get up, do a show, give you a 2-hour show, 2.5-hour show, and I'm done. I don't like doing sets. You've been on the bar scene. Do a set, come back later, and they're there from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous.
Right.
What I'm going to do all that time while I'm taking a break? I'll be sitting in there probably getting drunk. I don't want to do that. So I just never did that. So I always did a show, just like if you went to see, Luther Vandross. You go to see Luther, you go to possibly see an opening act, and Luther going to come out, do his thing, and he's done.
And he's done. Right. Now,
So that's,
the
say that again?
Applause your bio says that the audience applause from your first appearance was the beginning for you. What do you prefer now, the songwriting process or live performances?
Live performances, I would say, is at the top, and then songwriting comes next. I don't know. I would say then singing, then songwriting. I mean, I just like to, because your voice is an instrument no different than a saxophone or a guitar or a bass. Your voice is also an instrument. And, like some of my favorite singers that I kind of looked up to, Teddy Pendergrass, Jeffrey Osborne is just one of my favorites, just a strong, solid voice. James Ingram, who we just lost. So what a great talent. Peebo, I like people that can sing,
Yeah.
And, don't get me wrong, I like a lot of other pop stuff, too. I like, there's some songs that I like some rap, too. I like Tupac. I like all the old school rap, pretty much. I like Tupac, he always had a great message. I like Ludacris, he cracks me up, Snoop Dogg, there were a lot of old school rappers, as long as they had a positive message. I didn't listen to all the gangster rap. That just wasn't my thing. But I know they did a little bit of that. But if they had a good rap song that was great message, I liked it. So, and, just to, give you an example, I heard you saying maybe I'll give you guys a sample of something earlier.
Yeah.
So, just to give you an example, I'm just going to sing a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to sound right now, but I'll sing let me just do it. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering splendor. Tell me, princess, when you last said you'll let your heart decide. So you see how that flows. See, it's almost like a horn. You know what I mean? Your voice is an instrument. And if you can breathe, if you can control your breathing, you know what I mean? It flows just like it. Because even a saxophone player has to take a breath. You know.
Whew.
So.
I'm over here winded now. When I used to interview people back in the day and ask them, all right, so let me hear what, put them on the spot. Let me hear what you got, you know. And I would get all kinds of excuses like, oh, I'm not ready. My voice sounds horrible. I'm a little under the weather. You know, this is not a free performance. I would get all kinds of excuses. But just to be able to display your raw talent and let people see that it's the real you, not behind all of the instruments. And as you mentioned, your voice is an instrument. It flows so smoothly. That was actually my high school class song, class of '93. That was my class.
A Whole New World? Okay.
Yes.
Did y'all have a magic carpet flying through the audience?
Actually did.
Oh, wow. Okay. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
That's pretty
cute.
cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see that now. I never thought about that song being for a graduation commencement, but I guess it can be. Yeah, because you're entering into a whole new world after you. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah. Okay. And you know, like I said, I like some of the new school people too. Well, now he's old school, Johnny Gill. You know, but I love Johnny Gill too. You know, and yeah, but most of the singers I like now are pretty much all the old school ones. Now, when I was growing up, my mom would play songs I hated. I mean, I hated Teddy Pendergrass. I hated Patti LaBelle. Seriously, I did. You know, and I'm like, and she would turn that record player on. You know, I know some people probably don't know what I'm talking about when I say a record player, but she'd turn that record player on and on a Saturday morning, you know, blasted it, knowing I'm sleeping. You know, and all I'm hearing is Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, you know, with Teddy Pendergrass back then singing lead, If You Don't Know Me By Now, and Patti LaBelle, I must have rehearsed my lines 1,000 times. But now I love that stuff.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Because I was like, man, can't you, like, play some Jackson 5? You know. Put the Stylistics on. What happened to the Silvers? You know, that's who, you know, we liked all the guys with the high-pitched voices back then.
Right,
know?
Right.
Yeah.
And
I even do it.
You may be a little older than me. You may be a little older than me, but my father was, his love for music is something that it flowed through anyone who stepped into our house. It seems like he had every album that you could think of from all genres. He always played music, always. And so that's where my passion began to grow when I was younger. A lot of those people that you just mentioned, I listened to those religiously because of my father.
Right.
Yeah, so my children are the same way. They like the older music. You know, they listen. Of course, they listen to what's out now because that's the generation that they're in. But they, especially my daughter, she prefers the older, the classic music. You know what I'm saying? Old school.
You want to know why it is? Because why it is because it's music and it's not auto-tune.
Right.
And I try to tell these millennials today, I'm like, first of all, I said, let's just say, you know, you're 20 years old right now, okay. So in 30 years, when you listen to the Dusty station, what you think you're going to be hearing? I said, you think they're going to be like, that was Justin Bieber on Q101? I don't think so. You're going to be listening to the stuff I'm singing and playing right now.
That's right.
That's going to be on the Dusty station still. You know, I mean, you get some Beyonce, you know, you get a few of those, you know, there's a few out there, you know, Like Let Us See, she's another good one. You know, you hear
Oh, I
people,
love
but
that.
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and some Indian R.E. She's old school. And some Usher. You'll hear a little bit of Usher, you know, but you're not going to be hearing Justin Bieber and Riri, maybe. I don't know. And where, I don't even know what the heck she's saying. I did in April. I did a show and I sung Aretha Franklin, "Until You Come Back to Me." And so I told the audience, I said, hey, we're going to do some Riri. I said, everybody know who Riri was. Yes. And this guy said, Rihanna? And the audience just started cracking up. I'm like, you really think I'm about to sing something like that? I said, no, we're talking about the original Riri, Aretha Franklin.
The original. That's right.
Yeah. But I do. Say that again?
You trademarked the theme, old school R&B forever.
Yeah, that's my logo. You got products and everything because old school is going to always be here. That music is always going to be here. That old music's never going to die.
And so because you consider yourself an old school R&B singer, I mean, it sounds like a lot of your influences are, you know, old school R&B artists. How would you describe your musical style? Are you all R&B? Do you throw in a little jazz? How do you describe your style?
I can. I'll tell you something funny. I mean, I even like some country. A lot of people kind of look at me like I'm weird when I say that, but you know, and not mostly the old like country twang kind of say, not that old school Johnny Cash country. More contemporary. Because if you listen now, some of the country music that they play today, and they categorize it as country, I'm like, that ain't country, that's kind of pop. But there is some of the old school country twang that I do like. And one of the artists that I liked, he doesn't record anymore, he had a stroke, and he won 5 Grammys, was Randy Travis. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh, yes! I love Randy Travis.
Yeah, and you know, and I used to always sing a song. I mean, I never performed it, but I would always. Well, I did it as a joke with my artists. One time, I had them play it a little bit, just did a few bars, and I would just go, "You might think I'm talking foolish," you know, and they'd be cracking up. They like, "Is that really coming out of your mouth?" Yeah, I would just crack people up, you know. But I like that song. I mean, country music tells good stories, you know. Yeah. I mean, I got another one of my songs is called "Ain't No Getting Over You," and it's a story, you know. That's coming out on the CD. And if you don't mind, can I talk about it right this minute?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And the song is about. It's about a young couple fell in love, got married, and all of a sudden, you know, after, you know, years later, and I'm talking about years later, 20 years later, whatever the case may be, she decided she doesn't want to be married anymore, you know, and the guy is trying to understand because, you know, he still loves her and didn't see that coming. So like the first opening line goes, I heard you saying you don't love me anymore. You told your closest friend that this had to end. Then it goes, when we started, we were so young. Now we're older. Now you feel that you're just too young. Ain't no getting over you. So it's pretty much a country song.
Yeah, because if you listen to a lot of the country artists, there's always a story. There's always a something. It's a heartbreak. It's a break up. It's this is how I'm going to get over you. You know, they always have some type of life story. And I know that your music, this album that's coming out, does talk about trials and tribulations and real life struggles. Now that song that you just mentioned, is that real life?
No. No, and you know, a lot of people ask me that. They say, "Well, it is real life, but it's not. That song is not my life." Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
So of course, yeah, I'm writing about real life, but it's not most. You know, that's not my life. It's just. I mean, I even played songs where I wrote and let people listen to it, and female just started crying. I'm like, "What's the matter?" She said, "The song is just so sad." I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't want to make you cry." I was like, "Wow." And that song was called After All, you know. And it's pretty much the same basis as the other song. So, and, you know, and everybody always say, you know, like, "Man, some of the songs you write are just so sad." And I'm like, "Well, I write what I feel. I write what comes to me, you know. It ain't like I sit down and say, "Ooh, I'm going to write a sad song today." It doesn't happen that way. You know, I could be laying, getting ready to go to bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and I'm thinking about an idea for a song, and it'll just come to me, and hopefully when I get up in the morning, I remember it. I don't just hop out of bed and run to the piano real quick, so you know. But then most of the time I do remember it, and the thing that ticks me off is when I don't remember. I'm sitting there thinking like, "Man, I had this good song, I had this good idea, and now I can't even remember how I had the melody going." So
I know all about that. Standing Together. Talk about that track.
Standing Together is, again, love, happy time. It's like, you know, letting you know that you love them, and no matter what, we'll be standing together. I'll never take you for granted. Our love is gonna grow, you know. So, you know, it's a matter of fact, that's the cover song. As a matter of fact, that's a remake, but it wasn't really popular. And George Benson did it back probably 15, 20 years ago. And it still goes. Oh, well, you got. Do you have a copy of it? Do you have a track of that? Oh, okay. Yeah, you do. Well, I'll let them hear it then. I'm not going to do a version of it, but that's pretty much what it is. It's just saying, hey, I'm sorry if I ever took you for granted. I'm sorry I never told you I loved you. It'll never happen again. I'm never going to take you for granted. We're going to be standing together, and I'm going to treat you right.
All right, you heard it here from the artist himself, Troy Quin'Ton. This is Standing Together.
Hey now, what's good? It's your girl Jana Blackwell, C-Town Records, Mistress of Soul, and you're on the air with the hottest independent station, Endie Fiya, with your host Nakia, giving you that heat right here on the station, bringing you all of the hottest hip-hop hits, Endie Fiya.
Thank you, Miss Dana. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia and my special guest, old school R&B recording artist Troy Quin'Ton. I like that song. Now I got that rhythm in my head now. I was humming along. I like standing together, and the words are as he explained prior to playing the songs. The words talk about what it takes to be able to stay together. And that is so needed. That is so needed in relationships nowadays because people are quick to, I'm not going to call you no more. I'm not going to text you no more. Everything's all digital now. And so we use technology.
So you just get ghosted?
Yeah, you know how you...
Because they can just disappear.
Exactly. So, but it is so important that we use the older, and same with the older music. A lot of people listen to older music. It inspires us more so than what we're hearing now. But the older generations also inspire us when it comes to making and staying committed to the relationships that you're in. So I credit the old school R&B, for being my savior on a lot of relationships that could have gone a long way. Especially if I was listening to this new R&B. But when you actually take the time to hear artists pour out heart and soul, into their music and actually teach a lesson, when they're teaching a life lesson through their music, I think that music is just so much more, I appreciate it so much more. It is so much more inspiring, and I see you and your music as being the same way. Since it's been a while since you released the music, how would you say that your older music is different than your newer music?
Oh yeah, it's really not much different. But I used to do a lot of other artists things when I was younger. I used to do some Bobby Brown. Every little step and all that kind of stuff. But the new Jack Swing was cool, but I never really wrote any songs like that. That was just never in me, or I would say I haven't wrote one like that yet. Let me put it that way. Most of the songs that I write are pretty much like what you're hearing. Most of the time they are ballads, and there have been some up-tempo stuff, but most of the time there are ballads. So, and funny thing is that when I started college, I didn't know how to read music or play an instrument. I mean, I learned all that in college, and I picked up on it pretty quick. And how I learned how to play the piano, because of course, you're taking piano lessons, and you got you playing all this fundamentals, and man, I'm tired of playing these pentachords and pentatonic scales, and I don't want to play that. I want to play something, I want to play,
Right.
But, that's not the way it works. So, and how I learned how to play the piano, which I found to myself, which made it easier for me, was playing Lionel Richie songs, like Three Times a Lady and Still, Easy, and I was like, oh, man, his songs are kind of easy to play. And that's pretty much how I learned. I learned by playing his stuff, and then, then I, kind of graduated, got better, and I started playing, like Stevie Wonder stuff, which I thought his stuff was kind of difficult, but in a sense, kind of, some of it's not, but, and that's how I learned how to play, pretty much. So, I was getting, because, they got you playing classical Bach and all that. I was getting, my piano grades were like C's mostly. I got some B's, but mostly C's. But I didn't care because that wasn't my instrument. I just learned enough to get by so I can learn how to play. So I didn't, as long as I didn't fail the class, of course, or get a D or something. But, yeah. So, because my instrument was my voice. I was a voice major, so and I got A's in that. So that's as far as the piano instrument, to me that was secondary. But as long as I was able to accompany myself and sing a song, then that was great.
You play
guitar, I pretty much learned on my own. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you play any woodwind instruments?
I used to play the trumpet, but when I was playing that trumpet, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't even learn how to read music for that trumpet. But I did get good at it, and I was playing the trumpet by ear. And as a matter of fact, that was in high school. And so, can I pick up the trumpet and play something right now? Yeah, I'm sure I could. But I was also in ROTC in high school, so they put me in drum and bugle corps, which
drum and bugle corps.
Me in this. That's how I learned how to play the trumpet. Yeah. So, but that's pretty. That's pretty. Go ahead.
I played all 4 saxophones, and I played the piano at like age 8. So it was easy when I started playing the alto sax. For some reason, it was like my hands on the keyboard. Everything just kind of synced up with the saxophone. It was amazing. I don't play anymore, but again, if you gave me a saxophone now, I'm sure I could still, if I cut my nails, I could still play. But
that's
right, interesting that you said that about Lionel Richie. My youngest son is. He's very musically inclined, and drums, keyboard. He did play the trumpet, but it was that didn't last long because he was more passionate. Keyboard, guitar, drums, and so I'm going to mention to his instructor about Lionel Richie music because he's learning on his own. It seems like he's taking classes, but it's in one ear and out the other. He is playing by ear himself, and I think that may be beneficial to him. To try, since you mentioned that it seemed a little easier. I'm going to mention that to him.
Yeah, it did. And even if you listen to the songs and if you listen to the piano behind it in the background, you can hear it. You're like, oh, yeah, I can play this, What you're saying, keep in mind, though, Quincy Jones was a trumpet player from Chicago, so look how big he got. A lot of people don't realize that, so.
Being
I don't know what
a
Clive
older,
Davis did, but the mogul.
Oh wow, yes. Being that you are, I won't say different, but unlike a lot of artists today, they don't come with a live band. So that makes you just a little more special, I feel. But do you or have you suffered any skepticism from like any of the younger crowd because of your style of R&B music?
I get a mixed crowd. I get people from, some people even bring their kids. I get people from 10 years old to 70, 80. Yeah, I get a mixed crowd. I get a 20-year-olds, 2-year-olds. Yeah, I get a combination. And then, and they always enjoy the show. And some of them will come to me and say, I never heard any of those songs you played before, but I liked them, So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I said, well, I said, what you listen to? And they'll tell me, some, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar, for example. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar, but I've heard some of his stuff, but, it's just not my cup of tea, but, Well, yeah,
no, I know
stuff like that.
You have a show tomorrow. If you're in the Aurora, Illinois area, or Chicago, I think Aurora did say about 30 miles outside of Chicago. Tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. That's Central Standard Time at the Paramount Copley Theater. It is located on 8 East Galena Boulevard, again in Aurora, Illinois. Troy will be live tomorrow night in concert, giving a free concert. And again, I read like all of everybody that's involved in this, and it seems like it's going to be a huge ordeal. So if you're in the area, make sure that you're there tomorrow. It's a Friday night. It's the end of September. You ain't got nothing to do. So join Troy tomorrow night. You want to talk about that performance just a little bit, or that show tomorrow?
Say that again.
You want to talk about the show just a little bit?
Oh, sure. The show. We see, we hit on time. I like hitting on time. I mean, if I do hit late, it'll be 5 minutes late. It won't be too much more than that, because I like hitting on time. I don't like to keep people waiting.
Right.
So the show, we're gonna, how can I say? Yeah. So you're gonna hear some covers, and you're gonna hear some original material. I don't like talking about what somebody's set is, because it's kind of a secret. So like when people hear it, the music starts like, oh my God, I haven't heard this song in so long. This is my jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't like talking to really let people know what my set is. I like surprising, you know. But trust me, it's going to be something for everybody, and it's not. I'm pretty much guarantee you, if you like R&B, it's not going to be a song that you don't hear that you're not going to really know. And speaking of, and it's not a bad seat in the house, and it's a small, cozy theater, so anywhere you sit, I mean, even if you sit all the way in the back row, you can still see everything. I mean, you don't need binoculars. I still look like I'm right up in your face, because it's a small, cozy theater. Seat sits about 250 people, but it's not a bad seat in the house no matter where you sit. The way it's made, the way it curves around the stage. So it's pretty nice.
Wow.
And you're not going to have a hard time hearing either.
Will you be performing I'm Coming Home?
Would I be performing I'm Coming Home?
Yes.
Yes, and I'll be performing Standing Together. I'll let you know that, too.
All right. So I'm Coming Home is the first track off of the forthcoming album Coming Home, which will be released next month. Tell the listening audience just a little bit about I'm Coming Home.
Well, Coming Home actually is, like when let's put it this way, when you're growing up, it reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of the man I become with the help of my mother, pretty much raising me to the man I am. And all of the bad things that I've done, and all of the women that I've dogged, and when you're at that age where can't nobody tell you nothing, and you're just, for a man anyway, from a man's perspective, you're just a player, and, you're just dating several women, and you like them, but, you're just selfish. All you care about is, you don't care about their feelings. All you care about is getting yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, and everything else that you've done in life, from work to school and then all of a sudden, it'll hit you, what's meaningful to you, what's more meaningful to you. So all that time you was just taking that ride, walking that road and doing some good, doing some dirt, doing things that you wish you could take back. So that's what Coming Home is about. It's about finding out what's meaningful in your life. And I dedicate that song to my son because, I always tell him, that road you're traveling, I already been down there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Coming Home's about.
All right, well, let's give it to the listening audience. This is Coming Home by R&B recording artist Mr Quin'Ton.
Looking back, I can see the things I should have done, could have done, I see so much of my life I let go by. But when you're young, all you know how to do is run. Life can play tricks sometimes, you know. You think you have everything when you got nothing at all. The only way you know where you're going, you gotta take a fall. You've got to lose it all. I've been through love. I'm coming home. I've been through some pain, I know. I'm coming home. Changes in my life. I'm coming home. Now I know what's meaningful. I'm coming home. Looking back, I hear my family calling me. All my friends and loves I let go by. They wanted me to stay, but I was on a journey. There are so many faces, and there are so many stories I know. But when I opened my eyes, I had to realize there's only one place to go. This time I'm sure. I've been through love. I'm coming home. I've been through some pain, I know. I'm coming home. Changes in my life, yeah. I'm coming home. Now I know what's meaningful. I'm coming home. Through all the things that I've been through, there's only one thing left to do, and this time I'm gonna get it right. I've been through love. I'm coming home. I've been through some pain, I know. I'm coming home. Changes in my life, girl. I'm coming home. Now I understand what's meaningful. I'm coming home. I've been through love. I'm coming home. I said I've been through some pain, I know. I'm coming home. All these changes in my life, yeah. I'm coming home. Now I understand what's meaningful. I'm coming home. I've been through love. I'm coming home. Pain, I know. I'm coming home. Changes in my life. I'm coming home. Now I understand what's meaningful. I'm coming home.
I'm Coming Home by R&B recording artist Troy Quin'Ton. And you can hear that tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time at the Paramount Copley Theater on 8 East Galena Boulevard in Aurora, Illinois. Troy will be live in concert tomorrow night. And you can also hear that off of the 7-track album that is due to be released next month entitled Coming Home. I do know that you can pre-order now. And if you order by the 15th of October, you're going to receive a free gift.
Yep. And everybody that comes out tomorrow will get a free single of I'm Coming Home.
There you have it, guys. We know we love stuff free. So make sure if you're in the Chicago, Aurora, Illinois area, you have nothing to do tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you go out and show some mad love to Troy Quin'Ton. You know who I thought of when I listened to that song? Aaron Neville.
Aaron Neville? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before, but okay. I don't mind Aaron Neville. Every time I think of Aaron Neville, I think of the song The Touch of Cotton from the commercial.
Ooh.
But I know he has a lot of songs, the Neville Brothers, I know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, Nakia. You know, it's been a great pleasure. You know.
I want to open up the floor to you, Troy, so go ahead and get all of your contact information out. Anyone who may be listening live or anyone who may come back and listen to one of the many playback shows, if they're interested in, again, purchasing or pre-ordering the album, information for the show tomorrow, any collaborations, any tour days, you know, whatever they may want to get in contact with you for, the floor is now yours to go ahead and get that information out.
They can go to my website, TroyQuin'Ton.com. That's the way it's spelled, because you can't put the hyphen on the website. It's TroyQuin'Ton.com. And everything's out there for you, merchandise, albums, tour dates, getting a hold of me, email, you know, the whole nine.
So again, that was Troy, TroyQuin'Ton.com is the website. Booking information, tour date, merch, all of that, you can find it on the website. All
Correct. Right? Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
So, guys, as always, I want to leave you all with a quote. Music is not math. It's science. You keep mixing the stuff up until it blows up on you, or it becomes this incredible potion. And that's Bruno Mars. Until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, have a good night.
Good night.